Hi everyone, my name is Joseph, and today I want to discuss Digimon Liberator, the comic, episode 8-2 or 8-2. So this part we pick up with the battle where we left off in the last parts. It looked like that Close may lose against the rogue NPC that she was fighting against. At the end of that battle, she was able to summon her Pyramid Dramon or Pyramid Mon, something like that. I'm really bad at pronunciation and names and everything like that, so I thank you for your patience in advance. So the second part, we essentially, as I said, get the rest of the battle. In the first part, we see that Shoto and Owen are able to successfully beat off the rogue NPCs that they were battling against. This was a 3v3 battle, and after that, they were both now viewing Close play out her own bout against the rogue NPC. And I guess they were doing this, they being the writers, to go ahead and set up for Shoto to demonstrate that Close is someone you don't want to underestimate. And the second part of chapter 8, or episode 8, excuse me, I think does a really good job of demonstrating that. There was a couple times where it looked like Close was going to lose because her security shields were gone. But as it turns out, she did not lose. And there's also another time where it looked like her pyramid, I'm sorry, her Digimon was going to be forced to de-digivolve. But it turns out she was able to avoid that completely. And even Shoto, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and read the quote that stood out to me the most. Oops, pardon me, that was my cat. She almost dropped something. It's where after the battle is over, Shoto tells himself, or thinks to himself, but I'm sure it's something after watching this battle. And the next panel has Close holding two fingers, and Owen, he's doing like a weird finger shape. I think it's just the drawing, but his hand is like this. So they're having a discussion with Izamon on Owen's shoulder, and then I believe his name starts with an S. I can't recall his name specifically, but Salamandermon or something like that with Close, the one that digivolves into Pyramidramon. There was a huge difference between these two who can calmly assess what is going on and win. This is a completely white panel with just Shoto's thoughts, and then we have another panel with Shoto off in the distance looking at Close and Owen. And myself, we barely managed, excuse me guys, that was my cat. And myself, we barely managed to pull out a victory. Ellipses. And then Terramon is demonstrated via panel to be observing Shoto. And in fact, I believe, the ellipses is coming from Terramon, not from Shoto. And Terramon states, hey, and he goes off into the air. Actually, no, he does not just go off into the air. He jumps into the air and he slaps Shoto across the head. Ouch! What was that for? And Shoto was holding his head. Terramon's looking at him and he states, you're getting into your bad habits again, Shoto. Of course they are strong. The next panel shows Owen and Close looking quite cool. And then it has Terramon's eyes with the gleam. But you're just starting out, Shoto. You will get stronger. I've seen a ton of players. I know what I'm talking about. And Terramon looks quite happy and supportive. Trust me, I still got a lot to teach you. Terramon now looks happy again. We are in this together, partner. And so that's how this hopefully you guys can't hear that off in the background. If you can, then pardon me. I can't just pause the video, unfortunately. So again, hopefully we're good to go in that regard. And then Shoto ends it with saying thanks. I really like this panel because, as always, I'm a big supporter, and I've stated this before, of the demonstration of how community plays a really strong role in helping someone else to move forward. This could have been easily an instance, a combined instance with act. This could have easily been an instance where Shoto allows his negative side to overwhelm him, and he starts berating himself for not being as, well, as he points out, as refined of a player as Owen and Close are. But Terramon points out a really important detail. It is true that Shoto is barely starting off. It's a false equivalency to go ahead and be comparing Shoto to Owen, Shoto to Close. Hell, even comparing Shoto to, oh gosh, I'm forgetting her name. I'm not even going to call her the protagonist though, because we haven't seen her since the first. Yuki, I believe her name is Yuki, partner with Impmon from the novel portion. Even Renoir. Who's a young individual, and the only reason why Shoto would quote unquote maybe not be as capable, maybe even lose against these other debuggers, it's not because he sucks, but it's because, as Terramon points out, Shoto is just inexperienced. He doesn't have that same skill because he hasn't reached that level yet. But that doesn't mean that he can't obtain it. It doesn't mean that he can't eventually go ahead and acquire those same skills that these other debuggers have. These skills that allow them to assess the situation and still come out on top when everything seems to be going against them. Yeah, I feel like I've said that quite often, not just with Liberator, with Seekers. Hopefully, I don't sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but I think Digimon does a really great job of just having so many quotes, so many set pieces that help demonstrate again the value of community, the value of being supportive of one's well, team, of one's family, of one's loved ones, like however you want to view it, right? But now, with all that being said, I'll be frank and honest with everyone. I really don't have much more to discuss for this chapter. It does end in an interesting manner. It ends with what I believe is Close, whose partner seems to be Wormmon, and Close seems to be quite excited for whatever reason. After seeing this team win, Close is observing them. Give me a quick second. This is great. If they can't get out of that situation, then at least I can at least expect a possible level of teamwork from them. All right, I guess it's about time to begin. Where mom has ellipses, it's mostly just white blank pages. Game. This individual's. I think this is closed. Might be another individual. But game starts with a question mark, and then it states to be continued. So besides that little portion at the end, not much in terms of narration has been pushed forward. And one watches my videos from 2 episodes ago, specifically the comic portion, not the novel portion, they'll see that I was actually quite excited to continue the novel portion, not the comic portion, because I felt like most of the characters have been introduced, and the story was getting forward, the story was getting ready to move the narration forward. But so far, it looks like I was wrong about that, and I'm not going to lie. I'm still, this is Digimon. This is why I'm still reading. But if this was like any other property that was not as invested, if this was like Mass Effect, for example, I would still be reading because I love Mass Effect. But if this was something like maybe Jade Empire, which is from BioWare, Anthem, which is from BioWare, even though I do have a history with really enjoying BioWare's properties, I might stop engaging with it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is I kind of want to quit reading, not because I'm bored, but more because I don't know where the story is going. I'm still really engrossed with the characters, and that's actually one of the few reasons why I'm still reading this story, because I do want to see how Terramon's going to help Shoto. I do want to see this mystery about the whole wild Digimon, where Terramon, Shumon, Manikimon, everything, all the other wild Digimon are coming from. These are natural Digimon that can exist in Lacuna. And then, of course, Close and Chosen, these Geni these Geni-like individuals that, again, were born from Lacuna and thus are not humans, but rather digital forms. But what is the story doing with these characters? Am I suspicious of Cool Boy? I guess I am a little bit, even though I don't want to be, because I don't want this story to devolve into the whole typical, the person in charge is actually an enemy. I felt like Seekers already did that. Is maybe Close the antagonist? Maybe not even the antagonist, but the one that has a secret plan. Seemingly, Cool Boy, and Close, I would have to say that they're probably the most suspicious characters. Did I say Close? Excuse me. These characters' names, I swear. Unchained, not Close. Unchained. Close is the one that's working with Shoto and Owen right now. Unchained. Excuse me. Hopefully, I haven't been conflicting those names for too long. But Unchained and Cool Boy. Excuse me. Again, those two seem to be the most quote unquote suspicious characters. But I don't know. I'm hoping that Cool Boy will be fine. I'm actually looking at the character portraits right now. But then again, if you look at Owen Dreadnought, he looks quite intimidating in this picture. But I would argue that so far he's proven to be quite not what one may have expect from him. Again, superficially, one might assume that Zenith would be a good guy, Dreadnought would be a bad guy, but it's looking like Dreadnought might be the quote-unquote good guy. And we haven't seen much of Zenith, but I think that's being done on purpose. I think at the end of the day, Zenith, when he does make his appearance finally, it's going to be revealed that he has been doing other things in the background. That's my prediction, but I might be wrong about that. So even though I am kind of becoming unengrossed, excuse me, my hair is kind of wet. Even though I am becoming kind of unengrossed with Digimon, I doesn't mean I'm uninterested. I am still interested in the story. I'm just feeling like they're taking a little bit longer than I'm personally comfortable with pushing the main narration forward. So I guess my question for everyone is, what are your thoughts so far about Liberator? Are you still really engrossed with it? I guess especially if you are playing the card game, you're probably going to be more engaged with it, well, because they're demonstrating the card battling in a comic format. which would be really cool. I could imagine if one was engaged with the card game. But again, to reiterate, my question is: how are you guys feeling about the story so far? Are you still engrossed? Are you checking out's the wrong word, but are you maybe questioning what's going on here? When are we going to? Excuse me again, that was my cat. If you guys heard that, what's going on here? When are we going to move things forward and push things along? There was an individual before in the past where they did state in a comment, I think I should focus more on the characterization and less on the narration. And I think I've been doing that pretty well so far. At the beginning, if you guys watched my videos at the start of Liberator, I was trying to find a link for the narration portion. But once I realized that they were focusing on characterization, I was going fine with it. I was engaged, engrossed. But now at this point, I do need a little bit of narration. I don't mind characterization, but for me personally, when I think of characterization only, with a lack of narration, or a characterization with a superficial narration, that for me is typically more like a slice of life detail or genre that one is dealing with. But yeah, so thank you so much for listening, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your patience too. Hopefully you're not able to hear my alarm going off in the background. I just didn't get up because, to be frank, I don't really edit my videos. So if I got up, you guys would just be sitting here looking at nothing, and I'll have to come back and continue. And I think that would have been a bit more awkward. But but yeah, again, I do thank everyone for your patience, especially with me speaking a bit more quickly, with my patience with me and my engagement with the comics. I know I could probably do a better job talking about the battling and everything like that. But yeah, have a prodigious day, everyone, and take care.